All right, we're live here again. Final Thursday in the month of May 2025. Larry Mastropieri, broker, owner of the Mastropieri Group, alongside myself, John Laws of Discover South Florida. And we are going to get right into it. Things heating up in the community of, the community of Hidden Valley, really, the neighborhood Northeast Boca Raton, which, if you're familiar with that, it was previously a video we had done talking about the development projects that never seem to happen. There's this huge open area here. It's listed as a driving range. I was under the impression it was like a 9-hole course from the look of it. But anyway, you have this huge green space in the middle of Hidden Valley neighborhood, which is a sizable neighborhood. And the Toll Brothers were the latest ones trying to build a community in the middle of it, which is what Toll Brothers do. They build neighborhoods, and the neighbors don't like that, which I could totally understand, because it's almost like having your own waterfront property, if you will. Like if I had a house that bordered along that huge open green space, I would want that. I mean, my God, if you were a kid, I hope all the neighborhood kids go play in there, because that is like the coolest spot to have, like organized, like backyard football games and stuff. I mean, basically everybody gets a huge extended backyard. Like that's what it is. And I'm sure, since I know you've sold a lot of homes in there, I'm sure that's probably a big selling point.
Growing up, if that place was behind my house, I would be so pumped, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's so great. I mean, that was one of the first things I noticed. Because I mean, it was right around the time I started working for you, and that was the first neighborhood we were really talking about. And now it's all come back around.
Yeah. This would be an awesome place to go build forts, ride bikes, dirt bikes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I hope
so funny. Do. Yeah, it's so funny. I wonder. There's the neighbors complain about it on the Nextdoor app, so I see it. So like there is some of that activity for sure. So that's kind of the reason why they're like, hey, they should do something with this, because there's riffraff in there. You know what I mean? But this has been this way for 15 plus years. So
I'm trying to remember the name of the video now. What you called it? The Zombie Project?
Zombie Project. There you go. That's right. That's right. Yeah. I also love this hook here. It's what happens when one of America's biggest luxury home builders targets a forgotten golf course in Boca Raton for a brand new community, and the neighbors push back hard.
I wish I could do that, like in Don Prefontaine, the voiceover guy, used to do all the movie trailers like back in the day, like have him read that. Arnold Schwarzenegger had one choice, and his choice was to fight back. I mean, really, he could turn anything into an epic tale. Toll Brothers versus the community of Hidden Valley.
So we'll talk about it. Let's talk about it. So Toll Brothers, they have a few projects going on in Boca right now, right? They have, and we've talked about this, Maravita in Boca, and Layton Point, right, in Del Rey. And so, I mean, this is here. Let me share my screen. I mean, this is what they have going on right now. They're working on projects right in westish Boca, west/central Boca. And they're building beautiful homes like this. This is, I think they just broke ground here. So they don't have model homes over here yet. But this is, here you go. This is a quick example of what they have going on. So they're well-known. They're well-known builders. Prior to this, I think we've talked about this. There was a developer that had contracted the deal in, like, I don't know, I'm make up dates, but like 2015 or something like that. And then it didn't work out, and the seller and the developer got into litigation, and this thing's been stagnant. And that's why we were calling it the Zombie Project, right? So it's been stagnant for a while. And now finally you have a real developer here that can really make things happen. And so this is exciting, in my opinion. Like, this could change that area. There's been different discussions of what's allowed to be there, right? And there's a lot of other development going on in that area right now.
Well, we talked about it last week with, I think I asked you out of the blue because I do things like that. We were talking about Villa Rica and that Ocean Breeze closed down golf course that's right there. I mean, you have these two huge green open spaces in East Boca Raton, which I feel like land is as scarce as it can be. So I was just blown away by the fact that no one had developed anything there. You know, like it doesn't get much better than that, especially
it's so weird.
In the 21st century.
It's so weird. It's so weird that this stuff is still hanging out there. But at least, so this has plans as well, and this will likely get done too, right? The city of Boca owns this, and they're transforming this into a massive park, and with everything you can think of, pickleball, skate park we just talked about last week.
The Tim Huxhold skate park is being relocated there because of the Boca Raton government campus project.
Which I'm sure will be way better, way cooler when they put that over here. So they got a lot going on here, and then you got this happening here. If you own property in the surrounding area, I would argue that this helps values. That would be my argument. But there's pushback.
And I'd imagine it would be the homes that line up along the green space there.
So supposedly they're having so right now they're talking about they're having a meeting right now, by the way, like literally right now, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. or something like that.
You should have gone live from there.
Yeah, that would have been. I can't imagine. I can't imagine being there right now. That has got to be chaos. I've been to some of these.
Oh, it's comical.
Events.
I mean, my parents have told me about when they go to the monthly HOA meetings, which I come to find out recently, my dad is like the head of the board now. So, you know, he calls himself the mayor. It's just the stuff. I mean, it's like right out of Seinfeld.
So this, it's great. I've seen crazy things. So I can assume. So what had happened is Toll Brothers was trying to kind of control the meetings and how many people they meet with at once. And when certain people started getting the letters, they started passing them around. Like I got the letter from 2 people. They forwarded it to me, right? Which was great. And then those people forwarded it to, they were like, hey, the condo building down the street didn't get it. So they forwarded it to everyone in the condo building down the street. And then like that, they were like, wait. And so I was watching this chain of conversation between the person.
Right. They got to include everyone on every forward.
Totally.
Yeah.
So everybody got this thing. And the Toll Brothers person was like, hey, we're trying to control like the amount of people we communicate with at each event. We're going to get to everyone, this, that, and the other thing. Please, just work with us here for a minute. There's a lot of planning that goes into this, to having these meetings and being constructive. And so I can only imagine how many people are showing up there just based on the reaction of the previous times that this was attempted. The best thing about this is that there were times, 15 to 20 years ago that there were proposals for like apartment buildings there or like condo complexes, and that's a very different discussion.
Right. That was there was it was like not a YMCA, but some sort of big complex. Yeah. And wasn't there going to be like a body of water in it or something? I'm trying to remember everything now.
So like on the south side, there was proposed to be like this a park-esque thing with a YMCA. So like and then on the north side, there was 11 to 12 1-acre parcels that would have single family homes on it. Right. We'll see what happens next, because I'm assuming Toll Brothers would like to build probably 25 plus homes would be my guess. And again, this is all speculation because they're literally talking about it now, and we'll know more next week after we find out what happens here. And I'm sure I'm going to get calls from a bunch of people in the neighborhood talking about that. But if you think about what they're going to build an East Boca home for, when, let's just see, do they have the Maravita pricing up yet? I can just kind of give you a guesstimate of where they're going to be price wise.
Man, I was like, those are some nice.
Oh, here you
houses.
go. Perfect.
All
right. Perfect. So is this in? Okay, this should be Maravita. So you can see they're claiming the cheapest is 1.9, which makes sense. I was going to say the cheapest is $2 million. So now this is west. This is out west in Boca. So imagine building this home in East Boca. There's nothing. I don't think we've seen a cheaper new construction home than probably $2.5 million in East Boca, and that's on smaller lots and
on the
very
water
different products.
practically.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll pull something up here while we're chatting, see if it loads. But so you gotta imagine that the minimum price tag on this stuff is $3 million, 2.5. But I would imagine it's got to be $3 million. And so then if you look at just Hidden Valley as an example, I just did Hidden Lake. Here we go. If you just do what's active in Hidden Valley right now, you're going to see a couple of high ones, but these guys are on the water. But if you look at this guy's on the water, this guy's on the water. So really you're seeing stuff in the 7s, 8s, maybe 1.6. But if you look at actual sold comps, so like to have homes just pop up in this neighborhood for $3 million, you'd think it might elevate overall pricing for everything else, right? So generally speaking, I would think the neighbors might be constructive with this, but again,
hey, whoa, don't bring logic and reason into this discussion. What are you talking about?
Again, there's pushback. Yeah, so let's see. So just generally speaking, I mean, some of the higher sales in here are like 1.2, 1.4, 1.3. So like in that space, and those are the higher sales, but most of the homes are going to sell between like 500 and, 500 is really low, 550 and $1 million. So that's the majority of stuff. So then all of a sudden you throw in all these $3 million homes, you'd think that would be a positive thing. So
but I mean, these are like, I mean, tell me, I was under the impression that Hidden Valley was one of the neighborhoods, a lot more families. I picture, not places that are just being held for appreciation. Like everybody actually lives there. And I'm sure it's probably a nice community. And again, like having that huge backyard for everyone, essentially, though I'm kind of smirking as I'm looking at some of the notes on this. And they're saying for years, the area has been plagued with illegal dumping, ATV riders, even reported drug activity. Like, who said that? I'm like, probably, yes, I'm sure punk kids probably were back there because that's what punk kids do. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying really illegal dumping. Like what was going back there?
Yeah, they're also talking about wildlife surveys, relocation permits, gopher tortoises. All that's fine. I mean, like, yeah, you got to take care of this. You got to do the right things, right? But it's fine.
Yeah, I just question like how much of it really has to be done. It's just a huge plain with some trees here and there, and they're talking about it like it's a part of the Everglades, smack dab in Northeast Boca Raton.
We were with that councilman today, right? For 2 minutes, he came up to us, right? And he was talking to us, and I actually thought he had a good comment here because I want to save the Everglades just like everybody else, right? And he made the comment like it's better to build density in areas that are already dense, that are already developed, than to go tear up parts of untouched Everglades and put these new developments there. So it's almost like the argument that city life is a more environmentally friendly thing to do, right? To exist in a city because you're condensing all the human population there, and then you're leaving the other areas of the world untouched, right? Again, that's neither here nor there, but that's the argument he was making. So it's almost like the same concept here. It's like, hey, instead of like build density in areas that we probably shouldn't, like the Everglades, maybe we just do it here. So yeah,
when it's right, when it's possible, which isn't
possible.
Yeah,
now here's the thing.
Uncommon, but here it is.
Let's talk about this traffic thing is kind of interesting. So like, okay, let's pretend that they're going to build 25 homes because technically by right, they were allowed to build 11 homes or 12 homes. But the other half was going to be this other commercial space, right? Assume you double that, right? Because it's half and half. Say they're going to build 25 homes. How much traffic do you think that's really going to create, right? It's not like
it's the go-to. Right? It is the go-to argument.
I just thought that was interesting. Like, I get it. Like, let's talk traffic, but but 25 additional homes. I don't know. That's an extra 50, 60 people a day. I don't know. That's I don't know. I'm not.
No one's going to be able to get anywhere, Larry.
I'm just talking shit here, but it's I don't know. I haven't done a traffic
and I'm
study
sure, like you said, if this meeting's going on right now, I'm sure wherever they are in Northeast Boca Raton having this discussion, I'm sure everyone is bickering about it right now.
Yeah. I think it'll help, but I'm sure there's people that disagree with that, and that's fine. Yeah, kind of interesting. But Toll Brothers is a legit builder. This is maybe not the first time they've had a legit builder in place, but this is a legit builder that does probably the best thing you could do for that location, which is build, high quality homes on decent sized lots. And so that's like perfect. That's the best outcome for that property, because alternatively, what were you going to do? Put another golf course in? What kind of traffic is that going to cause?
Yeah, there's not enough space to do that.
But what kind of traffic is that going to cause, John? Right? Like that's
that's a legitimate.
That's my point. Like, you're going to have more traffic.
I understand.
Yeah. So it's like, what else? I think this is the best answer. I think we should work with Toll Brothers to get this done and just knock it out. Oh, here we go. Maravita, which features 70 luxury homes. So I wonder if long story short, Toll Brothers is kind of known for building like lower quantities in infill locations. That's kind of their thing. Whereas like GL tends to build like 300, 400 homes in a clip on bigger plots, right?
Yeah.
So this is like their niche. This is their thing, man. We should work with them to do that, I think. Assuming it all, makes sense. So anyway, we've dwelled on this enough.
I will say this. Well, I will say this. I don't know who to applaud for being able to hold back progress for so long, being stalwarts against change. But here you are, 15, 20 years now, Hidden Valley has held back any sort of development on that huge space of land in East Boca Raton.
I'll say this too. Last comment on this, but there's clients that we take into Hidden Valley quite often. They're coming from out of the area and they have opinions of the neighborhood. There's some people that love it and it's a great community and they fall in love with it. But there's others that comment on like some of the features of just driving into the area, just like all of this here, this like where the parks will be one day and all this. I've had clients where I drive straight through and they've told me it feels like Eastern Europe on some level because of the condo buildings. And
I can see that they do look like it with except it's not war torn looking, but those style of buildings. I could see that.
And That's a
very good point.
Multiple people make this comment, and so it's not that the buildings are terrible. To your point, it's like the surrounding of it. You got this like weird desolate area around it, and so like the combination of like improving this and dealing with this weird parcel of land here will just improve the area so much, in my opinion, and really make it's going to make values go up. But when both of those things are done, I would guarantee it.
Yeah, the land right there definitely doesn't seem to be as well maintained as when I go through Hidden Valley. When I see it, be it the drone shots, anything else. Yeah, I mean it's a beautiful green lush area right there in the middle of the neighborhood. Ocean breeze, golf course, and the places all around Boca Chica. Yeah, it does look a little more desolate. Now, bear in mind, I lived in West Texas for 2 years, so I know what barren and desolate looks like. It's not that bad, but it definitely, I can understand why somebody would think that. It makes total sense to me.
Yeah, so I've had people like kind of shy away from doing that deal in those neighborhoods. And again, I think we would eliminate that if we just kind of improve the area, which is like community, work with the city, work with the builders, and let's do something cool. Let's not
build a skate park.
Yeah, let's build a skate park. That'd be sweet. Cool. All right, let's talk about Pompano. Let's switch gears.
Yeah. Are you familiar with the Beachcomber, Larry? The
Oh,
iconic
yeah.
Pompano hotel that could now become ultra luxury condos, because that's what's on the
the
docket.
trend. This is the trend in Pompano. This is interesting.
Right, everything is changing in Pompano.
Yeah, and I actually this morning I was just having this conversation with another lady who's an investor, and she's now like geared up to buy like a duplex or a quadplex in the Pompano Beach on the island area because of all this action that's happening. But this has been going on for some time. You and I have talked about this, and this is just a new iteration of that. Actually, it looks like they just updated this May 20th, 2025. Cushman and Wakefield announced today on May 20th, 2025, that the real estate services firm has been retained to an exclusive basis to market for sale the family-owned and operated Beachcomber Resort and Club, a premier 5-acre beachfront redevelopment site located at 1200 South Ocean Boulevard here in Pompano Beach, which is interesting that they're marketing they're just marketing as redevelopment. It's not a, hey, buy it and operate it. It's let's knock this thing down.
Let's not, right. Well, I was just thinking about it. I'm like, okay, so last week or 2 weeks ago when we were talking about all the possible renovations, or excuse me, redevelopments of like that Miami Strip with all those historic hotels and buildings. And I said, I totally understand from Miami locals' perspective why they would try to preserve that, because it is a very iconic thing. Obviously, Miami has been very populated dating back that far. How many people were in Pompano Beach 60 years ago? You know what I mean? Like, was this the only game in town at that time when it went up? It was since the mid 60s.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's when we started to see more development, 60s, 70s, right? You see a lot of condo buildings that were built in that vintage, right? That was when there was a little bit of a boom there. This is classic Florida. Boom, bust, boom, bust. That's what we do. Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, well, all right. It's a good run, guys. I guess it's time to move on.
Yeah.
I don't see there being a whole lot of pushback on the Beachcomber.
Now, this is a project that if the price is right for the right developer, and we know we have some ideas of who that's going to be, this is going to get done. This is the common trend. We've seen this happen, I don't know, 5 other times already in like the past couple of years, right? Talk about, oh man, there's so many. There's some going on right now, but we could talk about there's so many I don't even have on the list. Casa Mar, Solamar.
Oh yeah, man.
Waldorf Astoria residences, Ritz-Carlton residences. There's more. You just go down the list. And so I kind of found it interesting. They're asking for $175 million for 5 acres, which is interesting. 3.4 acres along the beach side and 1.7 acres across the street facing the Intercoastal Waterway. Again, this is pretty advantageous, right? You can dock your boat type move.
Well, I was going to say, in a lot of those developments you just mentioned, at least 1 or 2 of them, it's the same thing, right? It takes up both the Intracoastal and the ocean side.
Yeah, actually, I'm trying to see where that parcel is across the street that they're referencing. I actually don't know. So this is the parcel here, right? And then they must own something. It must be here, something here, which is interesting. That's interesting because this is the location. So what's also awesome is the Waldorf Astoria residence site where they do their tours or whatever is literally right across the street too. So because that project's right here, right?
Yeah.
I mean, literally, look. I mean, it's literally up the street. It's crazy. So this is the game. Who are the developers on this stuff? We've seen Ross, right?
Of course.
Ross Build, right? Related has been running around here like crazy. So, and they got a system here. They know what they can sell these things for. They know exactly what the prices are because they've been just building these things and selling them. And I mean, like, look at this. So they talked about the Waldorf Astoria, first standalone residential property in Waldorf Astoria history, developed by the Related Group. This 28-story tower will house 92 exclusive condominium homes and is already over 70% sold. So I mean, Related literally could turn around and be like, here's the number I'd pay for this thing, right? Because they just know the answer. They know what the pre-solds are going to look like. And like right in this moment, they can predict this pretty easily and buy this thing. So I would bet they're probably looking at this project. Maybe, I don't know if they're concerned about exposure, but clearly they have a ton of stuff across South Florida that they're working on, right? So
why would they be concerned about exposure?
I don't know. You just like you're owning and building so many high rises in a specific market. If things go wrong, like
that's true. That's a good point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, well, that's why they try to de-risk anyway. Because like, so for example, on the Waldorf Astoria residences, look like they have Merrimack Ventures as a partner on that. And I'm sure they have other structures to kind of de-risk each project and the exposure there. So yeah, what else do they say about this one? So this was owned by the same family. This Beachcomber Resort has been owned by the same family since 1966.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, wow. I'd imagine at that time they must have been like the only game in town.
Yeah. 6 decades, 147 room hotel. Asking 175 million, equating to approximately 35 million per acre. And that when we were doing this, I was just curious which one did I look up? So I was just curious to see what, I think this is Waldorf. I think this is the Waldorf Astoria. So I was curious to see what they paid. So they bought this dirt in 2020 for 27 million. And it was according to the public record, it was 98,000 square feet. Right. So that's 2.5 acres. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, that price tag per acre sounds pretty aggressive compared to what they paid. So if they paid, again, could be wrong about this, but they paid 27 million divided by 2, right? I don't know, 13.5 million, something like that, per acre. Again, 2020, different time, but that's very different from, what are they asking? 35,000 an acre on this thing, right? 35 million an acre. No. Different price, but this is a big lot. Like it's a huge lot, 30, compared to what the Waldorf is. Right. So,
yeah.
So it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see who pays this.
I would love to be a fly on the wall in some of those meetings when the number crunchers come up with that figure, because there obviously is a science to it, and that how you again, that's not my background, so I would have absolutely no idea how you arrive at that number, but clearly there is a process.
Well, actually, this is interesting. So listen to this. While the property is listed for sale without an asking price, offers are expected to be in excess of 175 million. And the seller is willing to provide the buyer time to arrange site plan approval prior to closing on the acquisition. So I'm sure there's been more recent deals that comp out better than the Waldorf. That's got to be a factor here. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see where this goes. And again, they can put a lot of units in here. They said 90. So Waldorf is 92 exclusive condominium homes, whereas and that's on 2 acres. So just think about how many units you could put on this thing. You put a lot.
I'm just wondering how long before Pompano becomes the new Fort Lauderdale.
I mean, they just keep. Well, this is like, again, this is the trend. This is the trend. And Ritz-Carlton in progress, right?
Yeah.
Just same area, 84 residences, right? So it'll be very interesting to see where this goes. I get why you, like, if you just look, not to dwell on this too much, but what I did was I was playing around. I was just like, oh, let's just see so I can share like what's for sale, over $2 million. So you can see you have places like Solomar, right? These are new construction. I'm kind of just scrolling here. Solomar again, Waldorf. So here's a Waldorf for sale right now, listed, only renderings, asking 2.7. So it looks like they have some of the smaller units available. I mean, this thing looks gorgeous. And so I get it. Just, to me, it's not as, Pompano is not as homogenous as far as condition goes, just outside of these amazing condos, right?
Yeah.
If you go north, south, east, west, anywhere in Pompano, it like changes very quickly. Whereas Boca is a little bit more consistent with the quality throughout, which is interesting. So it's interesting that you can get these kind of prices for condos on the water in an area that transitions very fast, right? So, but again, this is one of the only places you can find a place to build something like this. It's very hard to find this kind of dirt, right?
Yeah. So. Yeah. No. +1 for homogeneous. You don't hear that word very often.
Why, thank you, John.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, that's a very good point, though. It is much more uniform up, where we are in Boca versus what's going on in Pompano. But man, so it sure as hell might look that way in another 10, 15 years.
Yeah. So the model's been proven. So like, that's where this like has taken off. It's just like Pompano, there's like 6 other projects that were done, built, pre-sold, done. And like these developers can turn around and keep doing this because they see the demand, it works, versus other areas that don't have the same proof.
Which is why I find it so funny, as we always, enjoy poking fun at the Mandarin, that it's like, just seeing so many of these companies. I mean, they have it down to a science. I mean, it is like clockwork, the way they do it. And I mean, without fail, then it's like, how the hell did you guys screw that up? I mean, really? I mean, everybody else on the block seems to have it together, and here you are. Like, no one else seems to screw up like you.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, like some of the developers I've been talking to that are working on some projects in Boca, because there's like 3 or 4 parcels where we'll get new construction condos like that. Some on the island, some off the island. And it's always like this discussion around like, okay, what do we see here in Boca? How does that compare to Pompano Beach? It's kind of interesting because it's like, we can kind of like quickly be like, there's like 6 buildings there that we can just like look at and be like, okay, well, Pompano's doing this. We should sell for a premium in Boca. What does that look like? And how does that work? And so, so it's just the best. It's a decent proxy, even though it's a different location. So, but yeah, how do they screw up the Mandarin?
I don't know. I mean, I have to imagine someday there's going to be more of a story that comes out about that. I don't know. Maybe it's the conspiracy theorist in me that just can't help himself. But anywho, moving on. I don't know how much you are into crypto, Larry. It was never my cup of tea, but it's obviously still around. And now you have the Property Markets Group, which is a leading developer, partnering with payment processor Shift4, that's all one word, to allow cryptocurrency payments for pre-construction condo purchases across Florida. Okay. I'm going to be honest with you, man. Even as a tech guy to a certain extent, doing all this, video and whatnot, I've never understood crypto, really. I mean, I get it, but I don't really get it. I just know it's just like this, uncontrolled currency that the Haktua girl had a rug pull, and a lot of people lost a lot of money, and now she's off scot-free. But again, there's no oversight on any of that stuff. So I'm like, it's like, okay, if I bought it, I mean, do I buy it just to hope it goes up? Like, would I actually use it to pay for anything? Can I use it to pay for anything that's not shady? Like, what? I don't get it. I still don't understand it. And I remember, I mean, when did Bitcoin come out? Like
2011?
Yeah, I remember it, but I was just like, okay, that's cool. It sounds cool. I don't get it, but it's like, and I was totally right about the non-fungible tokens. I said that was crap even at the time. And I was like, yep, that was like the .com rush of the 2010s. Like, what a dumb idea. And I got into like fights with people over this. Arguments, not fist fights.
Yeah, well, I get PMG is pretty big in Miami, right? Mm-hmm. And so Miami is, or they want to be the crypto's capital, right? But So like I get the push to like use this, especially in a very international market. What to me was interesting about all this is if you dig deeper into this, the way Shift 4 works is, so it says PMG's innovation. PMG is the first major U.S. developer to formalize crypto payments for pre-construction condos, integrating Shift 4's payment platform into their sales process. Shift 4's role. Shift 4 is known for processing billions in transactions annually, bringing its secure enterprise-grade payment solution to the real estate sector. In here, if you dig, this is what I'm getting to. Basically, what they do is they take the crypto and they pay PMG cash, right? And it's like, it's not exactly like PMG is just taking a bunch of crypto. Like PMG is not collecting Bitcoin. Right.
PMG's like, we don't want the crypto. We prefer American currency, but you can at least exchange it here. You know, it's sort of like, it's almost like, you know, when you see credit card commercials and, oh, it's accepted in 99% of the places. Like, I'd be interested to know what percentage of businesses accept crypto payments. I'll bet it's pretty low.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I could be totally wrong. Again, it's like, this is just, I've never been into this.
You know, Miami's known for the cocaine
stuff.
Cowboys and, you know, and so like maybe you got a lot of these, you know, drug lords from Latin America.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they probably, that's what I'm saying.
So PMG had to figure out how to keep selling condos, man. That's just what it came down to. They were like, listen, the market's softening a little bit.
Don't ask, don't tell, just buy from us.
Listen, we'll work out the crypto thing. We got a guy. We got a guy who's going to take your crypto and he's going to give us cash.
That's exactly it. We got a guy. He's the best.
Yeah, he's the best guy. You guys are gonna love him. just wash your cocaine money right here. That's it. That's so funny. Wow. So you know, they do everything. Shift 4 supports various digital assets, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, stablecoins, integrating with platforms like Coinbase. So this sounds pretty efficient for somebody who wants to do this and it works for them, right? So it's to your point. Like I'm not like super, like this isn't like to me like the biggest deal in the world. I guess it's good. Keep moving the ball forward with this project here and be able to accept payment in different ways. Great. But I'm like, I don't know. We're not, I think I've done one transaction and it was more in the, like, don't get me wrong, crypto's higher. I think Bitcoin's higher now than it was when we did this transaction, but it was in the height, it was in the chaos of the market where somebody was doing a Bitcoin transaction with us. And
again, you actually did it. I mean,
so basically he showed us, he was like, hey, I can buy this house cash. Here's my Bitcoin. Here's like my Coinbase thing. Here's my wallet or whatever you want to call it. This is my proof of funds. You guys want to do this deal? I'll pay you. I just need to cash it out. And I'm only going to cash it out if you guys agree to go into contract with me. And so we're just like, we ended up doing the deal with them. The price was good, all that stuff. So bingo, cashed it out and we did the transaction. So, but that was like the extent of my exposure to like a Bitcoin transaction, because that's not a real Bitcoin transaction. He converted to cash, then he paid cash. So that's a little different versus what they're talking about. But it looks like there's other local cases here in real estate that got this done. Miami's first wallet-to-wallet sale, a studio at the Ryder residence sold for $528,000 in Bitcoin. No bank involved, just direct wallet-to-wallet transfer, which is interesting. So basically, I'm guessing there was no title company. Well, there's probably a title company underwriting the deal, but they maybe didn't facilitate the cash piece of the transaction, right? Which is kind of interesting how that played out. So that's like a more unique thing. If that becomes,
so you cut out some of the middlemen, more or less.
Yeah. So this is actually, so
that makes sense.
So again, this was another developer who this is the Ryder residences. So they figured out ways to sell their condos, however they got to do it, right? First direct wallet to wallet cryptocurrency real estate transaction at the Ryder residences. So, and then there's other title companies that are trying to specialize in this. So this is the thing. It's coming. So let's move on. Let's talk about Surfside, which is another condo building.
Oh yeah. All right. Let's go from crypto to tragedy. As if we haven't talked about Surfside and its lingering effects on so many different aspects of real estate here in South Florida, particularly with the legislation, trying to prevent something like this from ever happening again. So the hook to the story is what happens when a site of immense strategy becomes the foundation for ultra luxury living. To me, it's called progress, but apparently there are people who don't like progress, and it isn't always a case of traffic. Obviously, Florida's most tragic address is being rebranded as ultra luxury. So would you live there? Yes. Can architecture erase memory? Surfside Collapse's site is getting a $15 million glow up. Larry, call me heartless. I have zero problem with that.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I get it at respect. It's a bad, the situation was bad, right?
This isn't like, buying a place that you have to disclose somebody was murdered there.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this when I was looking over some of it earlier. It's like, if there's a tragic bus accident and a bunch of people die, yes, it's horrible, but we're not going to shut down the intersection forever just to honor their memory. Life goes on. It's like, believe me, if I died there and I have any say in the matter, I'd be like, yeah, build it, make it look nice. Life goes on. Again, it was awful, but I stand by my statement.
Yeah, I agree. And there were plenty of developers that agreed. Right. So, and clearly this developer.
Come on, guys. We got to go on. It sucked, but it's time to move on.
Yeah. Yeah. Put something in its place. You're not just going to leave it.
What, 4 years now?
Yeah. Yeah. And this design is awesome. This was a Zaha Hadid architecture group design, which is very well known in the area for doing just super cool stuff. Right. So they pulled out all the stops on this. It looks interesting. I think this was an international developer, right? That bought this, right? I remember we were talking about who's going to buy it, related, this person, that person, and it ended up being
somebody from Dubai, which
right?
They're doing plenty of high-end stuff out there.
Yeah, exactly. So it sounds interesting. Marking their first U.S. project, DAMAC or DAMAC Properties. This is their first U.S. project. I'm sure they wanted to go really well. They chose like the architect to design this thing, and it's a 12-story building, 37 units. So pretty interesting, including
the return of DAMAC.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. I couldn't help it.
And they got 5 penthouses here that are going to be customized to the buyer's taste, it looks like. So that sounds pretty interesting. Units range from 4,400 to over 12,000 square feet.
12,
prices start at 15 million. John, prices start at 15 million per unit. Am I reading that
million
wrong?
For a foot? I don't know.
Do I believe it? That sounds like that's like huge numbers. Here's our boy right here. My boy.
Is it wrong that that's exactly who I pictured like developing it? I mean, it's Dubai.
Wow. Interesting. Yeah. He's just getting it done. You see all my targeted ads for my shoes. Yeah. So fun.
There could be worse things targeted. So,
yeah, here you go.
Fine.
Yeah. Right. I agree. Yeah. Starting at 15 million a piece.
Yeah. Holy crap.
They got a meditation garden. That's what's driving up the price.
Well, dude,
now we get it.
You buried the lead here. Meditation garden. All right, I'm sold. Wow.
Yeah.
But I mean, holy hell, dude. 12,000 square feet plus. What do you think that's going to go for? I mean, in theory, if we're just doing simple math, I guess it'd be at least 50 million.
Yeah. Yeah. It's wild. So
what's with the glass bottom pools? I see those more now, suspended over what I'm like picturing a bridge. You've seen them, and they got the.
Are they proposing that in this design?
Yeah, amenities include a 75-foot glass bottom pool suspended 125 feet in the air.
Check this out.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the 20,000 square foot meditation garden, private restaurant, residential butler services.
Place sounds awesome.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's going to be great.
Awesome. On the ocean, all epic views. Let's see if there's another. There you go. Check that out. Look at that. I don't know.
That's going to be such a fad in another 30 years. They're going to laugh about that. I'm telling you.
100%. But it looks cool.
It does for now.
Here's our meditation garden. Epic. Epic, worth every penny.
I feel like it looks like a drug rehab center for the ultra wealthy. Does it not? I mean, does that not exactly what that looks like?
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Yeah, I mean, this thing looks ridiculous. Ridiculous. Oh, they got another pool too. Oh, is this the same pool? No, this is another pool. Just this thing looks ridiculous. It's gonna be cool. I'd love to tour this as this gets done here. This will be cool. Yeah. One of the comments here is DeMac has pledged $1.5 million toward a memorial on an adjacent roadway. Some argue that a portion of the original site should be dedicated to honoring the victims. So I don't know. I mean, 1.5 million.
Like,
that's
come
great.
on. I know. And it's like, we got to move on, guys.
On that note, we'll move on.
I know. I'm sorry. It's like, I don't mean to be insensitive. It's awful. And I've said it God knows how many times. We got to move on.
Agreed. Well, let's talk about something that I already expressed.
Oh my God. So like celebrities in Palm Beach County, we know there's like a lot of them. And it is Taylor Swift's boyfriend, Travis Kelce. Yeah. In fact, it was last Friday. The two of them had dinner at Harry's in Palm Beach. And we were talking about this before we went on. You're saying it does have to be a pain in the ass for a super popular celebrity like a Taylor Swift with a legion of fans that, stalk her every move, like to have any sort of privacy. But I think that makes sense in terms of Travis wanting to get away for his training. That's why you went to Palm Beach County instead of Miami to do your workouts and stuff. I was like, actually, I think that's a pretty good idea. I mean, you're always going to have, people paying attention to what you're doing, but at least when you're in a nice place like Palm Beach, you're surrounded by other comparable wealthy people that aren't celebrities. So it's kind of like, you're just another person.
Yeah. Palm Beach. It can be very boutiquey. So you have like a lot of high end stuff. So you're not like exposed to just randoms that are going to freak out as much. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There's so many $1 billion sized egos there. It's like, she should be saying hi to me. Are you kidding?
Does she know who I am?
Yeah, right. I don't give a crap about your music. It's like, honey, I'll just buy your production company. I don't care. Which then again, God, she's worth over $1 billion now.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So, Michael Jordan, of course, is another one that's been notable. He's been out and about some just because his second wife is she owns I forget her ties exactly to Mary Lou's. It's a popular cocktail lounge in West Palm. Jordan lives up in Jupiter. And you'll see him out every once in a while, which it's just like, wow, it's Michael.
You got the Duke and Duchess of Sussex.
That surprised me.
Yeah.
I guess they went to one of the polo events in Wellington, right? Which, and there are people with properties out there. I believe one of Bill Gates's daughter has a huge spread out there because she grew up as a huge polo enthusiast.
Yeah. Guy Fieri, Gordon Ramsay.
We talked about that. He buys and sells a lot of stuff around there. If I recall, didn't he? We did a blog on it a little while ago, about 18 months ago, I think, maybe a little less than that. But he had a huge one on the water in Lake Worth, I think, that he sold off.
Yeah, and he's hanging out in Boca at Rocco's Tacos.
Well, so who isn't?
He's just hanging.
Actually, I think that's like the only Rocco's Tacos I haven't been to.
Really?
Yeah, I've been to I swear to God, I think I've been to every other one
except for the one you live next to.
I know.
That's great. That's great. Sylvester Stallone, Wayne Gretzky.
We know him.
Yeah.
You haven't. It's funny. You haven't heard as much about Sly lately. I feel like I heard about him all the time when he first moved in there.
Last time I saw him was hanging out next to Trump when he won. You remember that?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was and then he just kind of vanished. Well, I mean, because I don't know, his kids were trying to do more stuff. His daughter's podcasts and all that stuff. Who does podcasts? I mean, really.
I don't know. I already expressed I didn't want to talk about famous people, but
I know, right?
Let's move on to Las Olas here.
All right.
pop into Fort Lauderdale, talk about a 46-story new residence that just broke ground, 521 East Las Olas Boulevard in Fort Lauderdale.
You know what? I think I saw that the site.
Just look at this thing. This is crazy. Yeah. I mean, here you go. Here's where it's going up for anybody who wants to get an idea.
That's like one of those, it almost looks like it was designed by AI.
Totally. So this is where they're putting it, right here amongst all the other high rises in the downtown sector. Pretty good location, arguably, right? Walking distance to the bars and restaurants and all that fun stuff. Quick proximity to the beach. I mean, this is a good location. I'm sure the views up top are pretty cool because you probably get pretty good views facing east, would be my guess. These other buildings are equally as high or close to. So that one looks way higher, actually. But so facing east, you probably get some awesome views.
That's that's such a good point too. That I wonder how much competition goes into having the easternmost view right in that area. You know what I mean? Like the next one goes up, and then I feel like everybody's like kind of cutting in front of the next one to make sure they have the nicest view of that.
Totally. I mean, that's the thing. And guess who is doing it?
Related group. No,
our buddy Steven, Mr. Steven, Mr.
Ross
Ross.
Stays busy.
He's not hanging out, that's for sure. He's doing stuff.
Yeah. So
look, he's too busy to even be in the photo. Is that him in there? I don't even see him.
I don't know. I can't tell.
Is
that really? Is that not even the middle? No, it's not.
I don't think. Maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know what it actually did off the top of my. Well,
I know him by some. We've talked about him enough.
That's true. We've seen enough photos of him. This is interesting. Situated on a 0.65 acre site.
That sounds pretty small.
Right? Compared to what we just talked about. We talked about 5 acres, 2.5 acres in Pompano. Yeah. So this is the difference. It's like, this is what you're doing. But they're higher. These are typically taller buildings, right? So, which is interesting here. 1,800 over 4,300 square feet. Most units are priced between $2 million and $5 million, with a 6,000 square foot penthouse listed at $16 million. The money just keeps coming. Stone was asking, how long will it take to build that? It's a good question. Let's see if they talked about delivery time. My guess is they broke ground now. Let's just see, 2027 done type thing would be my guess.
In a perfect world.
I think I have it somewhere. Oh, look at this. Construction is expected to wrap up in 2027. Look at me.
Look at you.
2 years to build these things. It's like I've done this before.
Right?
Okay. Yeah. It's just wild. Designed by the world-renowned, I can't even pronounce this person.
Oh my God. The Panini Farina?
The same Italian firm known for Ferrari and Maserati aesthetics. Now bringing the sleek, luxurious style to the residential living here in Fort Lauderdale.
And it's amazing that you can have someone design this, but not have to have Ferrari or Maserati named on the building. Isn't it funny how that works?
That is funny, huh? Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm sure that costs money to brand it that way.
Oh, right? I know. I'm just saying. I mean, we've talked about that.
We've seen this.
I mean, that's why they do it. I mean, it's like we've gone from sports venues to high rises now, whoring off the rights. I mean, that's totally. And I get it. You got to pay the bills, but I'm just like, man, we are so shameless.
Work it, man. Work it. So this is interesting. Over 35,000 square feet across 3 levels of amenities. So 10th floor wellness center, pickleball court, spa, cold/hot plunge, salt and steam rooms. The 11th floor has private dining, sports lounge, conference suites, and full service ocean view bar. Rooftop, 2 pools, hot tub, cabanas, sun deck, and food and drink service. And then to finish it off here, ground level includes a 6,000 square foot restaurant space tied into Tunnel Top Park for walkable dining. This building sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it's going to be great. I've never questioned the legitimacy of any of these ever. It's just sometimes how we arrive at these places.
Man, these things, it just like, yeah,
they just keep coming.
it's just like unbelievable. And look at these rooftop pools. John, what do you think about these renderings? Our renderings, I think
the renderings look good.
Yeah, I still think our renderings are a little better though, actually.
Well, yeah.
Not to judge here. This is good. It looks cool. Don't get me wrong.
But you notice though, it's not a glass bottom pool. I mean,
man, they're missing out. They're missing the trend.
Yeah,
you would think Ferrari and Maserati would design something like that.
Well, maybe they just didn't have enough space for it, you know.
Yeah, this is interesting.
All right.
Well, on that note, let's wrap it up.
We're wrapping it up. All right.
Yep.
On behalf of Larry Mastropieri, broker owner of the Mastropieri Group, I'm John Laws of Discover South Florida. Just want to thank everybody once again for tuning in. Larry, you're going on vacation, so I guess we'll be off for a couple weeks, and then we'll be back at it mid-June. So hopefully everybody will be there for that, and continue to look for some of our content a couple times a week at minimum on Discover South Florida YouTube channel and other social media platforms as well. And that'll do it for now. So we'll see you guys in the next one.
See you guys.